That'll work. Huh. Sorry, the green screen wasn't working tonight. So how is everybody?
Good.
Doing
Doing
good.
well. How are you?
Good.
I good. I'm great. Cold. I didn't go to work today. Well, I worked, but worked from here. So,
That's
but
a good thing.
yep, it is. It absolutely is. Okay, we are going to have some fun tonight.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. So what I want to do tonight is I would like to give you all an opportunity to do something it's a little bit different this time, but yet it's still kind of the same. So let's go ahead and join Mentimeter, right? You can use the QR code that's over on the left, bottom left, or you can go to menti.com and you can use the code 79219618. Okay. So while you're doing that, let's go ahead and talk about the um let's go ahead and talk about our last session. So what did we do the last time we all got together before we all got snowed in?
Daryl Warren spoke.
Daryl Warren spoke. Yep. What else did we do?
Created
We
a
talked
con-
about the
Sorry, go ahead.
We talked about our conferences.
You talked about your conferences. And did you get them done? I see a head or two nod in there. Yeah. So you made really good progress, right? And then we learned about what Daryl is doing as a certified master trainer. We learned what Daryl's doing, and uh, he was he's taken a really good, I think, approach to it. He's a coach, right? He coaches folks from various organizations like Apple and some other big organizations, and so he's figuring out how to use AI, and he also used it with his cohort group, right? That he created at Butler University and then has carried on himself. So that's the I think that developing a conference is an interesting thing for you to go do. I want to give you an opportunity to do so to think about AI in a different way, right? I was talking today in a call and I was describing what we're doing with the certified master trainers. What are we trying to accomplish here? And one of the things I said was that I want you to walk away from this course being a thought leader, right? There are lots of people, there are lots of charlatans, right? Um, carpetbaggers, whatever you want to call them, right? The people that move over to use AI because they think they're going to make a bunch of money at it, right? And they act like they're all experts. And I could do that. We could do that at InnoPower, but that's not what is going to sustain this program and what's going to sustain you, right? Prompt engineering right now is just a tool. It's one of many tools that we use in our AI tool bag, right? And we're finding that out. And so I want to propose to you that we should think about this in a little bit different way than we probably have so far. And that is, how do we use this for social good, right? Everybody's talking about how do I make money on this, right? How do I make money, right? It's all about the money. Um, and it should be about that, right? We have to pay our mortgages. We have to feed our kids. We have to put kids through college. We got to put gas in the car. We got to put a roof over our head. Whatever, take care of parents. Whatever it is we're doing, we've got to go and, we've got to have money to do that. You can't just do that on your own goodwill. And um, so money's important. But what we're trying to do is enable here at InnoPower, we're trying to democratize AI and empower those people that may not get a chance until much, much later, right? And so I'm going to go through some slides, take you through some things. We're going to talk about some things, and then I have an activity for you to go do. You knew I'd have an activity for you because I don't like talking that long. Okay, so let's go ahead and bounce into this. So, first question. Did you get snow this weekend? So it looks like it's leaning toward yes for everybody, right? Um, there's probably a few people that might be on the call that might say no. Um, we might have a couple folks from Nigeria dialing in to see about the training. We might have some folks from other parts of the US who might be dialing in. But yeah, it looks like everybody pretty much had snow this weekend. Now I want you, I've said over and over and over again, right, that you all learn from each other. You don't learn from me um, as much as you do from everybody else. So I want to know something you did that was cool this weekend. Jerry Jones was no in Florida. There we go. There we go. I wish I was with you, Jerry. We were up here. I was out shoveling snow on Sunday and Monday.
Mm.
All right. How we doing? Made a work coloring book. Moved into a new home. Congratulations on that. That's always a bittersweet thing, right? It's great that you're moving into a new home. You're excited. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. Work from home, created some detailed flyers completely with chat. Ooh, there we go. Created a vision board. I like that. Creating the conference. We had some folks continue to do that. I started a faceless IG quote page using AI. So I'm an old guy, right? So what exactly, if anybody wants to share, what exactly is that? What is a faceless IG quote page?
I believe it is to when you have, it's almost like what they do with TikTok. You don't show your face, you just put words, and then you might have music behind it, and then
Hmm.
people interact. It's usually either affirmation or a question or just some information, but it's not your face, it's just words.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but that's what I think it is.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's
That's good.
basically what it is. You just gonna have quotes on the page, or you can have like captions with the quotes, hashtags to drive more traffic to your page. Eventually those pages can get monetized too, but it just take a little bit of work. But that way you can say what you want to say, do what you want to do, and they don't really know who's behind it. So you really
Hmm.
can't have like a perception, or it can't affect your personal business if, from your point of view.
Hmm. That's interesting. That's interesting. Somebody should write a course on that.
IG is Instagram. IG, Instagram. So a faceless Instagram page. You
Ah,
can do it with YouTube, Facebook, all the social media platforms.
hmm. Thanks for that update. It's interesting. I had never thought about that. Not on Instagram. I've heard of people that have faceless YouTube accounts, right? But I've never seen that on, I've never heard about that on Instagram. Um, Learning about Zapier, MailerLite, and Gamma. Somebody had a heavy lifting weekend.
Somebody updated their dating profile
Where is that? I'm not sure I see that
in the
yet.
middle after.
Oh, updating your dating profile. I'm curious if they used how they used AI for that. I mean, you know, but we won't ask, right? That's personal information, so I won't go there. Created my first lesson to teach high school students ethical, moral, productive use of AI while maintaining their own critical thinking element. That's a good one. In initial evaluation for a website for a 501c3 readiness. Working on another book, made a scripting. I'm ducking around my camera here. Scripting manifesto profile. Set up a complete worship experience. Gotta get this out of the way. For a Saturday worship experience from beginning to end. Nice. Made a thinking partner GPT. There we go. Good. I like the idea of challenging AI when adding a new concept such as the conference. Good. Let's see what else. Get some creative ideas for flyers. Identified the gaps in my business. Oh, that's interesting. So one thing that I saw a couple places here um, where people completed my book. I would encourage you, all of you that want to consider yourselves thought leaders, to do that, right? Finish your book, get it out, publish it on Kindle, KDP. It's not hard. It doesn't take very long to do that so that you can say you're an author, right? That adds credibility, can add credibility. Plus, it gives your book, you've got something to give away, right? You can give them a free download version of the book, or you can give them a code that gives them a free one, right? So you're giving them something that is a part of you to learn about you, right? And it can make it more personal. Let's see. Created a family tree instruction module for 4th to 6th graders. Learned about a new use for my company. Learned how to set up automations for my tax business. I was in Atlanta, but I met with some amazing people. How did you get back? That'd be my question, because they were canceling flights right and left on Sunday. All right, good. I think the using of AI is like a muscle, right? And the more you use it, the more you train it, the better you're going to be at it, and the better you're going to be explaining it and having stories to tell, right? I started a faceless Instagram quote page using AI. There's a story there. You can incorporate that. You can talk about how you set up automations for your tax business using AI, right? To help you figure that out. All these items that you've all listed, except, well, I'm not sure about the dating profile one, but all the other ones, right? You could use as stories. Maybe you could use a dating profile, but you can use as stories when you go out and start doing your training, right? And start thinking about who you're going to get and start conveying to them. You've got actual experience, which is very, very helpful. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate y'all participating in that. So, I told you we were going to talk about AI for social good. So this is near and dear to my heart, right? I mean, I don't know how much I should say, but I'll say it anyway. I believe in what we're doing so much so that right now I'm working as a volunteer, right? I'm contributing my time to do this because I think it's important what we do. And whether it's AI or whether you're interested in um, whether you have a shelter for abused women and families, or whether you're the American Cancer Society or the Indiana Donor Network, which is one of my favorite not-for-profits, one of my favorite charities, right? There's they're all being impacted by what's going on. Whether you're leaning right, leaning left, I got those backwards. Whether you're leaning left or whether you're leaning right, it is being impacted substantially right now. And it's being by funding, by lost opportunities, by regulations and laws saying what we can and can't say and do. And so, we being those of us in the social space, right? Teachers, work for not-for-profits, volunteer our time. We have to do more with less, right? And AI, I think, is the perfect tool to do that, right? Because it suddenly you have the opportunity to do some really cool things as a not-for-profit or for social good that you couldn't do before, right? You couldn't to develop a marketing plan as a three-person not-for-profit or an NGO, if you want to call it that. That would take, I mean, developing a marketing plan would take somebody at least a week, maybe 2 weeks. And you don't have the time nor the money to go do that. You can't get a top of the line brand strategist to help you with your brand for your not-for-profit. If you're working as an educator, it seems like all the educators that I know are doing something for social good, whether it's with their students, whether it's clubs after school, whether it's their church, whether it's not-for-profits, volunteering. They're always doing something. So how can we take this great tool that we've got access to and use it to help? Right? You're all, believe it or not, you all are donating your time to be here. And on top of that, you're donating your time to help train 20 people. That's not an insignificant give that you're giving to us, right? That you're giving to this effort. And so how we do it and how we do it effectively in a way where we can do the things we need to do to address the things we should be doing for humanity, right? Those kind of things. How can we take all those challenges we've got and use AI to help us come to a better solution, come to a better plan? So the urgency, right, is a global challenge, right? The world faces unprecedented changes in health, changes in education, inequality, right? And AI offers that ability to accelerate it. There are 3.4 billion people that lack access to basic services. To me, that's a number I can't even imagine, right? I really can't even imagine that. But if you said there's 8 billion people in the world, that means almost half of them don't have access to basic services. Things we take advantage of, things that we rely on, education, healthcare, right? The opportunity the opportunity to take care of your family, to own property, to have enough money to own property, right? And so as organizations go out, how are they going to do that? What can they use AI for? And the digital divide. I love this term because I'm not sure exactly what the digital divide means anymore. It threatens to deepen inequality, right? So there's a risk. People are going to be left behind. So how do we help people catch up? You've heard me say this before, time and time again. There is this wonderful thing that is going on in society today. It is that the almost, 85%, I think, of the population maybe uses a cell phone. Maybe more than that, maybe less than that. But there's a ton of people who can't afford a computer, who can't afford software, can't afford Wi-Fi, but they have a phone. So instead of referring to it as a digital divide, I think it's a digital transformation. How do we help people use their phones and use the technology that's available to them in a better way that is more effective, right? And how do we do that? And AI gives us that opportunity. Suddenly, we can start doing training on our phone, right? You can write books. I had a young lady, a high school student of all, not this past summer, a year ago this past summer, who wrote an entire book, a 75-page, 8.5 by 11 book on her phone. Now, I would have been cross-eyed, right? I mean, I would have been, that would have been awful for me. It would have taken me months to do it. She was able to go through and do it in a matter of about 3 weeks. You have access via your phones. You have more power than they had at NASA in the 1960s when they were launching rocket ships to the moon. We're at a time where we need to be able to use the technology that we have and get that in the hands of the people who need it, right? And I don't mean the well affluent kids. We need to get it in everybody's hands. Rural, I was at Clinton Central a week ago Friday. We need to get it in all the kids that are in that school. We need to teach them how to use AI, right? And how to use it responsibly because they've got it. It's in their phone. They've got access and they're using it. We as parents and educators aren't telling them how to use it and how not to use it. Does your organization have an AI policy? Do you have an AI policy, right? If you're a 2 or 3 person company, do you have an AI policy? What are you going to use AI for? How are you going to use it ethically? Most of you have been through my ethical conversation. We'll probably have another one, another short one probably before we end this class, right? But how do we teach ethics? What governs what we're doing with AI? How do we get inclusive designs? I was working on my tub today because I have of all days, at any given time, I have a stocked up bathtub that I can't get unclogged, right? And I'm working on it. As I was working on it, I was thinking back to the story of when the faucets came out that you just put your hands under, right? It worked for some people and it didn't work for others. And it had to do with skin color, right? So how do we make sure that we don't get caught up in that? How do we make sure that we get that equitable access to the people that need it and do it in a way that is culturally sensitive? How do we do that? When we think about cultures, we think I originally, before starting with InnoPower, was thinking about cultures in Japan, Germany, Australia. We have different cultures in the US. There's a different culture in Gary than there is in Indianapolis. It's 150 miles apart. There's a cultural difference between the north side of Indianapolis and the south side of Indianapolis. How do we make sure that everybody gets access? Janice, you've got your hand up. You're on mute, Janice, if you're talking, or we can't hear you. Okay, I think Janice is having some technical difficulties. So, Janice, if you put it in the chat, maybe I can take a look at it. Still having sound issues. Oh, there we go. Okay. I am sharing my screen. Cool. Okay. So while Janice is putting it in there, let's go on to the next thing. I've been talking too much. So AI in action for social good. So how can we do this, right? What kind of things can we do? So this is UNICEF's AI strategy for children's rights, right? How do we make it so that AI has children's voices in it, right? How do we make it so that it is, so that we can utilize and deliver training and education in a way using AI that makes a difference? What kind of intelligence can we provide to people who may not have had access to it by using AI, right? Predictive analytics we can use that, right? We can start predicting things based on data. We can talk about AI powered support, tech support, healthcare, how to grow a plant, right? How to plant a garden, how to get water working, how to lose weight, how to learn about what good food nutrition is, right? Those are all things that are now easily available with AI. All we have to do is create the chat bots that are available on their phones. Janice, have you got your phone or your sound working yet? Evidently not. Okay, I'll keep going on. So, um, here's some examples of some things that can help, right? Automated verification combats disinformation campaigns. My gosh, those are everywhere, right? How do we impact at scale journalists, right? Empowering them to make decisions, giving them sources, grants, that enable adoption of AI editorial tools, right? So we can help those media folks that are in the independent are independent in those countries, right? Where they may not have access to those tools before. Large language models are revolutionizing health, global health, right? They can help in the diagnosis of what's going on, right? It can support languages, different languages, right? We don't need to worry, we do need to worry, but we're not letting language become a barrier. We don't have to have it necessarily translated by a human to get it into those languages, right? We can do that using AI. It's faster. We can get the information quicker. We can get the preventive information that we need to maybe stop something that could be a crisis. We might be able to stop it before it becomes a crisis, before it becomes more expensive to fix, or it has a big impact on that person, right? A permanent impact.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Willie. I fixed Janice's microphone so she can answer a question now.
Okay. Janice?
No, it was more of a comment. I think one of the things that I'm most excited about being part of AI is my my 50th missions trip was to Haiti, and their lack of access of just clean water was just astonishing. And so I've been thinking a lot about how we use this technology to identify where the wells are, companies that are willing to go in and help them drill. How can we find people in the community who are more excited, and not necessarily in Haiti, but in any, I think, third world country, how, we take water, just clean water, for granted. So to have somebody who can figure out how to do this more efficiently, it's just a precious commodity. So
Yeah. Thanks for that. It's crazy with the technology we've got and the money that we've got and the manpower that we have. Sorry, the people power that we have. Um, it's amazing that we still have these challenges, right? And you would think that with all the global wealth that we have, that we wouldn't. Um, so how are we going to fix it, right? I saw a lady I saw an ad for Dubai and or Dubai, and she was she had taken a drones and was delivering mango seeds to help restore the delivering mango seeds, like planting them using a drone, and they were able to start restoring coastlines, which has a huge impact on those people that live near that coast, right? And it's incredible what people can do. And if AI can help us, let's do that. Social good, blah, 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 blah. I've talked about this. I'll let you read that. Is Emil here today? He is. Cool. So there's a lot of different things you can do to, there's a lot of different ideas that you can use to help improve things. It requires a multidisciplinary collaboration, right? So we need domain experts. You need somebody that knows how to fly drones. You need to figure out how to partner with governments. You need somebody that can actually execute, right? Somebody that can implement solutions. It's one thing to be an expert in how to fly a drone, but how do you implement a solution that scales? And then connecting with not-for-profits. How do we do that? Right? Can AI help us? And we believe it can. I'm going to get to the end of this slide, getting close to the end here, and then I'm going to ask Emil to talk about the Impact Studio. Hub and spoke governance, right? Does everybody know what hub and spoke are? You have a central unit, and then you have units that are out closer to the various areas that will do the monitoring and provide the governance, and then we'll report back to the main unit. Continuous risk assessment, right? Continually evaluating what we're doing, and are there unintended consequences? right? Where we might be harming them through algorithms, right? Trending patterns, changes in society, things like that. So what's the risk assessment on that look like? And then ethical frameworks, right? How do we be transparent? How do we be fair? How do we be accountable? One of the things that we talk about a lot, I won't say a lot, but significant amount of time is the how do you measure your social impact on your initiatives, right? Do you measure, yeah, we delivered 27 training courses, or do you count how many people got jobs and how frequently they're using AI, right? So we have to think about those things as we're going forward with social good. Collaborating globally. So I've talked about our community, right? I've talked about our community. We need to be not only collaborating globally, but we need diversity in our communities, right? We need different people with different mindsets looking at the same problem that are willing to work together, bringing different perspectives, right? It can't be it's not a one size fits all type solution for anything, any problem. So how do we do that? Okay, this is my conclusion, right? And I think there's a huge potential for AI when it comes to transforming people's lives, whether it's helping a autistic child, whether it's helping a kid who's behind because of COVID in his reading, how do we help him catch up? Whether it's helping a entrepreneur or helping a professor create a new and innovative way to deliver the training material. Is it something as good as we can now have a literacy teacher that could teach 120 students in a day because she can use AI to do her rubric, right? And she can do her rubric, use it to do her rubric, use it to generate, do the analysis and the grading. Right? That allows us to be able to do more good. We can impact more kids. We can impact more lives. So that is the last slide I've got. And you're all going to go, yay, I don't get to listen to Chris anymore. So what I'd like to do, I have two people I would like to talk, and I'm going to give them 5 minutes apiece. First up would be Emil, if he's here, if he's willing, to talk about our Impact Studio and what we're doing there as a means of social good.
Thank you, Chris. I wasn't expecting to speak. I was enjoying the class, so sorry I'm not prepared to speak, but
You're best off the cuff.
It warms my heart to see so many people as I look at the chat and see the number of people, recognizable names as well in the class, just to know that a lot of you, once you are able to master, not saying you're not good at using AI, but really understand how to use the tool to do the things that you want to do even better. I know most of you on this call will also have the temperament and spirit to want to go out and share with other people and truly democratize access, right? And when me and Chris first started talking about this, and Chris and the team were just sharing some things, and I was sitting in a training with them with some CEOs in Indy, and I was sitting there saying, if all of the CEOs are just learning this, then wow, and I'm just learning this. So we just started that whole journey to let's instead of asking for permission, let's go do it, right? Let's go empower people and have the faith and belief that people will go out and do the same to other people, right? And the timing is not like infinite, right? We are like, it's moving so fast that if you just don't know the basic principles, that's why I love how we've created the progression where it's just now, we're not just saying AI. You know, you have literacy, you have ethics, prompts, then automation, and then eventually agents. We're trying to accelerate that teaching because everything is going so fast. So how do we accelerate it for you? And you get the most out of it where you become certified to go deliver the training on your own, and you have that for your own resume as well. But also to go train people who may not know, so they're not willing to pay for the training because they just don't know. So that's our hope. What Chris talked about with our Impact Studio, around the world, like things have changed so fast. There's some of you on this call, like Carletta is on this call. Like I know she goes to Ghana quite a bit, and knows even there the access to funding and support, right, has declined so much, but the problems haven't declined. So there's less money coming in to support organizations through aid, and then the problems in society all around the world is increasing. There's more poverty, there's more homelessness, all of that, mental health, you name it. So how do you increase capacity, or how do you start thinking about how do I do good and generate revenue doing good? And not apologize that I am charging what people can afford, but how do I do that today? And instead of nonprofits, people call it social enterprises. But if you don't do that, then you have to make a decision that if I don't get funding, then I'm not going to do the good that I know needs to be done. And that means a lot of people will stop doing good. So we think there's a market approach for you to run a nonprofit and generate revenue. And AI and all of that, AI is just an additional tool that we have today in training that we didn't have 3 years ago. So accelerating that usage, getting it in the hands of people that we know will multiply that. That's our goal. And then we hope that you are doing trainings like this going forward with other people. So the way we say it's free, but it ain't free, right? We say it's free, but you pay us back by training other people. So the 20 people that you're going to train, I know Bolanle is on this call too, even though it's 2 a.m. in Nigeria. But you know, the training that we're expecting is, let us know that you have a community of 20, right? Don't end the training and then try to find that 20. So all of this is impact, right? That's how we see it. The train-the-trainer model, doing it, getting people trained, allowing the community to control that. If people don't want to do it, it won't happen. The Impact Studio, getting people to think about nonprofits and how do I go do the work I want to do, that I was called to do, is in my heart to do, I'm knowledgeable about doing it. But how can I generate revenue? And just like you go through that in starting a business, we totally put that side for nonprofits on the bench for decades. Where you started, but you're not thinking about it, about generating revenue, being sustainable. And then when you get grants, that's the additional capital, like if you got a business, to boost what you're doing. So we think of it differently today because we see AI as a big play in all of that, because it changes the way training happens, it changes the way knowledge is exchanged. So, you know, really excited about it. I enjoy the class all the time. You know, many times I've seen Chris train. I keep sitting back and just learning more and more stuff as we go through it. So appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys doing the training. The beauty about this, what we do is if it's 2, we'll train. If it's 50, we'll train, right? But that's the approach and that's the mentality, and we are excited to do, but we're excited to come to your training here in a couple of weeks and watch you do it as well. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Emil. So I really am glad he was here and was able to talk to us about that, right? The Impact Studio, right? That is an opportunity and it's one of the best examples I could think of where we're trying to say, how do you change what you're doing and how do you use AI? How do you incorporate AI in it to help, right? And I'm pretty excited about that. As you can tell, I hope. So I wanted to do that. And then I had a conversation yesterday, or not yesterday, I'm sorry, last week, where I was talking to Donna after class. And just as just to be transparent, Donna was in my class at Clinton Central. And she was telling me something that was interesting that she was doing. And so again, trying to give you more thoughts on how you can use AI, I've asked her if she would mind spending 5 minutes and explaining to you how she uses AI in her classroom. So Donna, if you're open to that, would you?
Okay. First, I'm a high school teacher and I teach dual credit classes. So my students get college credit for my classes. So the rigor is there, the more advanced kids take it. And my reason for starting with the AI, I'll be honest, it was completely selfish because I have 5 different preps, which means every period it's a different class. So just preparing for those classes was a huge undertaking. And then doing all the grading, because they're mostly essay and very labor intensive with the grading. And I knew there has to be a better way to do all this. So I went through all the different types of essays that I taught. There's like 7 different types. And I made rubrics for all of them. And even like sample outlines, like how you get started on writing that essay. And then I put my grading criteria in another document of how I graded it. And how, when I send it through AI to grade, I ask for areas of strength. You always want to start out with a compliment. You're doing this great. Then areas for improvement, basic writing mechanics, and then all of the criteria in my rubric, a separate evaluation, a rationale, and a grade for all of that. And then at the end, what AI does is it gives me 2 additional questions, and it's usually 2 of the weakest points of the essay. Like, do they need more help with pacing? Do they need more help with counter arguments? And then you just hit whichever one you think, because I read all the essays anyway, and I'm like, well, this paper needs this more. So then I hit that button. It gives me a whole nother page of techniques for that student to improve that particular skill on their next essay. And it cut down my grading time exponentially. Instead of taking weeks to get a class of grading done, it takes me days. And it's real live feedback in real time within days after they turn in the essay so that it's still fresh. Because when a student turns in an essay, if you don't give it back graded to them till 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, they're already on to the next thing. They're done with that already. But if you give it back to him the next week, it's still fresh. It's still there. And I've had countless students come up and say, this is really helpful to me. I'm a better writer because of all this feedback. And it spits out 2.5, 3 pages of comments for each essay, the way that I have it organized. And then I'm teaching a new class, Intro to Literature. And in 3 hours, I created a whole semester of my curriculum in 3 hours. And I used AI on all of it. So,
But you didn't just use AI to create it, right? You used it. Did you reviewed it all right? You didn't just
yes,
copy and paste, right?
I knew that I wanted, because it's Intro to Lit. So the first thing I started out was all the different critical theories for critical analysis. and there's about 10. So then I did compare and contrast charts, which each one has what they focus on, where it is on the rhetorical triangle. Does it focus on the text itself, the author, or the reader? And some of them combine more than one. And all of that was compared in my chart. And so then, and because those are the critical lenses that the students are going to look through as they analyze all of these texts that we're going to read. They're going to look at it through a reader response critical lens. They're going to look at it through a feminist lens. So they have all of that. And then, of course, then I put every story that we were doing, every poem we were doing, every play. And I have like 150 pages of lecture notes, essays for them to do, and assignments. And I did it in like 3 hours using AI. Normally, to plan a class like that would take me probably 3 weeks in the summer when I'm off. And I did it in 3 hours in one day. And my goal is to take every single class that I teach and come up with a whole binder that's start to finish from day 1 to day 180 and have it like in a binder. So new teachers, when they come in, here's your curriculum. Instead of a new person fresh out of college, all they've had is student teaching, trying to figure out, how do I structure my time? How do I pace my class? It's all done for them.
So thank you for that. You have a question in the chat. I believe it was Carletta. Was it Carletta? Where is it? No, it was Lovette. Lovette said, Donna, do you use Brisk for that?
I use Magic School. Our school subscribes to Magic School, and then I also use ChatGPT as well. And I talked to my assistant superintendent, because with, you know, the 20 people, ideally I would like to do students. And I talked to her and asked her, you know, can my 20 people be students? Because Purdue is going to start having an AI requirement. And they're going to have 8 hours of AI instruction every year starting next year. So I would like to give my students a little bit of a head start on that and show them. And I already have my first lesson completed. I just have to run it by her and make sure it's okay before I can actually do it. And it's about the ethical use and, you know, the AI as a thought partner and the ethical use of it. And like, for example, my kids right now are working on social issues unit, and then they have to pick one of the social issues unit, one topic, and do a problem solution essay. So the first thing they have to do is identify who are the stakeholders. These are 18-year-old kids. They're not mature enough, and they don't have enough life experience to identify all the stakeholders in big issues like homelessness or discrimination. They're not there, that they don't have enough life experience. That's when you go to AI and ask them, who are the stakeholders in homelessness? It's not just the people that are homeless, it's the community, it's the city, there's probably a dozen different stakeholders. So when you're writing a problem solution essay, you have to bring to the table all of those stakeholders. So they're using the AI as a idea generator. Who are the stakeholders on this issue? What are their concerns? Because those are all going to have to be addressed in the essay, in the problem solution essay. even though they may not have all the life experience to deal with that, and they don't know that off the top of their head, AI can help them discover that and uncover that.
So you got another question? I mean, what does it say here? Let me make my screen a little bigger. How to ensure that you're promoting critical thinking and not just encouraging prompts. I love what you're just doing. I just think it can be a slippery slope.
Well, that's where the first lesson I came up with, which I have to clear with my assistant superintendent, is there's like a contract. There's a student contract that you will use AI for helping to generate ideas, but all of the critical thought aspects of the assignment have to be on your own. Like identifying stakeholders, identifying their needs, that's about as far as you get to go. And then the rest, you have to figure it out. That's where the research comes in. And then I show them, how to access the databases and what specific ones to look for, what kind of questions to ask, and what keywords to use. Because looking for sources in the databases is a lot like prompt engineering. If you have the right keywords, you're going to find what you're looking for. And I help them with that. But they only get that. I would only let them use it on the first 2 steps. And the rest they have to do on their own. And then when they have a finished essay, they have the rubric. They could put the rubric through, then put it through and see how did I do on this essay based on this rubric? And then make the adjustments on their revision. And it is an honor code, but when you have them show them the ethical part at the beginning, and that the critical thought still has to be their own, and they sign that academic contract, they take it more seriously. But I haven't got to that part yet. I'm gonna approach my assistant superintendent with that, and that would be my starting point. So start with that before we dive into everything else.
Does anybody got any other questions for Donna?
Hi, Donna. This is Brett.
Hi.
Hi. It's great that you brought that course up that you use, and they actually provide you that for free. I think that is awesome. I looked in that. I think I looked in that back in August of 2025. It's great. It actually is I just wanted to add to what you were saying. I didn't want to take anything away, but to give the actual cohort a little bit more additive and elements that are in that tool. When I signed up, it was free. I don't know if they went behind me and start charging everybody, but because we are in InterPower, and Chris and Emil can kind of tell me I'm wrong, but I'm in school already. So I just signed up as a tutor. I'm already a tutor. And they have another option as an educator, but it's all in one sock. So I went ahead and went into that. I did put the link in there for us to go ahead and look at what Donna is telling us. And maybe we can come up with different ways how to impact and empower the educational system, at least for the state of Indiana. That's all I have, Chris. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
I have one. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
This is for Donna. Donna, thank you for this is Shanita Starks, by the way. Thank you for outlining that component of how you do it for the students, or how you're planning on doing that for the students. Are you, or have you done like a focus group that you've used, like with peers or other colleagues, to help see how your training model could actually impact some people that you know already? Have you done that before, or are you
No,
doing that?
I have not. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm creating how I want to teach the students. And I started with the first lesson. I have that done, and I'm working on subsequent lessons. And since we don't have anything like that at our school, I have to go through my administration to make sure it's acceptable before we do it. My initial conversations with her were positive, and I probably would do it with just one class to start with to see how it goes before I rolled it out bigger. So I would have like a test class, if you would, but not until I finish all the lessons that I plan on doing and have her sign off.
Okay. Yeah, only reason because what you're doing is exactly what we need. And sometimes within the educational structure is really boxed. So when people have nonprofits and other avenues like that, it might well help the community to execute it in different formats. So I'm just having you just think a little bit different because what you are doing is absolutely what's needed right now. And like Emil said, sometimes you don't have to ask permission. I'm saying outside of that space, just thinking that if it doesn't get approved right now, that there are a lot of summer nonprofit organizations or other things that you can work with that may be able to give you a test group or a focus group.
Yes. And I think it's going to work in our favor because our local university where that pulls a lot of kids from where we are, because I'm at Clinton Central, Purdue pulls a lot of our kids, a lot. It's going to be required there starting next year. They're going to have 8 hours. Every student that goes through Purdue University starting next year is going to have 8 hours of AI training until they graduate.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that because I was actually a outreach coordinator for Purdue, and I still stay engaged with it. So that's why I said the acceleration of it is like right now, because the college is implementing that as a requirement. So you're head on with that.
All right. We need to we need to wind this up, and we need to move on to the activity. Donna, before we get into the activity, I just want to say every time I've heard this story 2 or 3 times now, and every time I hear it, I'm just amazed by it. I mean, just amazed by it. I think it's great what you're doing, and I love the way you're pushing the boundaries, and the way you're willing to share about it, all right, as well. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next thing here. So here's what we're going to do now. We don't have 80 minutes. We've got about 45. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. And we've talked about AI as being a tool for social good, right? And so our mission at InnoPower, I'll say InnoPower.ai, which is the AI piece. It's really for all, but I'm really focused on to empower everyone by democratizing AI. We believe AI is the way to empower those regardless of gender, age, sex, skin color, or whatever sports team you follow. I thought I'd get a chuckle out of that. So what we want you to do is I want you to go into groups of 3 or 4 people, and I want you to download the AI for Social Good activity in the course materials CAM folder in the Certified Master Trainers group on InnoPower.ai. And then I want you as your group to go through and read it and then be prepared to discuss it. It's going to take you longer than what we have in class. So I'll bring everybody back at 9 o'clock, and I'll bring you all back at 9 o'clock, and then, or right before 9 o'clock, we'll end the activity for today, and then we'll pick it back up again on Thursday. So yes, so I will put I'll put the link in the activity or in the chat for you as well. Are there any questions? No questions. Really? Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to end the presentation and I will get the link. Let me stop my share and we will, I'm going to create the, let me get the, I've got it here, I think. There it is.
It's Felicia. I do have a question. As you put us in our groups, can you also enable screen sharing as well?
Only because you asked.
Thank you.
Only because you asked. You know, I always forget that.
It's okay. I always put it in the chat anyway, but I was thinking, let me just say it now before we even go into our rooms.
That's a good one, Felicia.
Yeah, let me just do that right now. Y'all are keeping me honest here. Okay, I enabled it. You should be able to share. And now I'm going to set up the breakout rooms. And I'm going to set up 10 breakout rooms, and that should give you about 4 apiece. I'm going to assign them manually or automatically. So here you go. There you go. Thank you, Blonde for putting the links in the chat. Okay. I am going to go and start joining rooms and see what's going on.
thing is there. It's just the PowerPoint.
Chris, are you there? Yeah. He's not outside the group. He must be in a room.
Oh, I'm reading some other comments from other groups. They're saying the same thing. They said, I see the PDF, but am unclear on the assignment. And then other people are saying same. Someone says we are supposed to do something with the slide deck. They're thinking that maybe it's something with the PowerPoint slide, but it wasn't explained to us to just use that though.
No, but the slide isn't even giving us any instructions.
Yeah, the next slide he had up on the screen was there with the assignment, and he got out of that to give us the link to the wrong. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's what everybody's chiming in saying. So we're not the only group.
divided. So this is so annoying.
So he's jumping in, helping other groups as well right now, I'm sure. Lots of
It'd be great if you could just broadcast a message to all the groups, but I don't know that he does have that.
Mhm.
he'll just send out one group so he won't have to jump into individual.
Yeah, especially with 10 groups. You can broadcast a message to all the groups if you would.
Exactly, that would be nice. Well, could he put a message back in here?
He could put a message back in there. He could send a message broadcast to all the groups. Like there were plenty of other,
That would be easier for him to just go back into the Power Community and just drop something in the same folder with PowerPoint.
I mean, and Zoom has a feature. He could literally message all the groups right now if he
Exactly.
in
That
and
would
out.
save time.
Yeah.
Hopefully he will know to do that. I'm sure he'll think
I'm
about
sure
that.
Bologna's telling him. Right? He said she'll be right back.
While we're waiting, have you guys checked in, signed in?
No, I didn't see. Did he put that link in the chat?
And what
Okay.
is today's lesson title?
Hey, Chris will be right back in to get you all into the
Okay. Thank you, Emil.
Yeah, when he jumps, sometimes he's answering questions in those groups. So
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So were you all unclear about the assignment as well?
Yeah, we're unclear too. We're waiting. I just put it because the assignment title is usually at the top. Last time I just put session 5. I just put the session.
That's what I'm gonna do, like session number, because the titles are anywhere. Yep. That makes me feel better. So there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of wondered if the titles are what the assignments that we work on.
It is, and it's usually at the top, but there isn't one for this one. So
The social good.
I'm just putting session 5. But you can put whatever you want. That's what I'm putting.
I'm just gonna put the assignment, which is social good, I believe.
Mhm.
Session 5, social good.
There you go. You should have got invited. Shara, did you not get invited somewhere?
Sheree, yes, I did. I was in room 10. However, we are only seeing the slide deck for the
Yeah.
assignment for today. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
I'm
Okay.
working on it right now.
Okay, if you don't, you can put me back in room 10. That's where it was at.
I invited you to room 7, and now I'm gonna invite you back. That's what I have to do to put you back in there. There you go. You should be good.
Mhm.
Hello, hello, Chris.
I think she's out the room.
Hey, Beverly, were you in a room?
Yeah, I was in a room, but I teleported out. I feel like what do you call that show? Star Trek. I
Yeah.
teleported out to come get you to come into our room. I was
Yep.
in two.
I'm aware of the problem. I'm working on it right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when
Okay.
you can, if you can teleport me back into room two.
Yep, I can do that right now.
Okay. I don't know why this is like a Star Trek scenario for me.
Why, where do you need to go, Beverly? What
Room
room?
two. Room two.
Okay.
Or breakout two.
I have to bump you to room 1,
Okay.
and then I have to bump you back to room 2 when you teleport out. There you go. Hey, Becky.
Hey, Chris, we aren't able to find the actual assignment, just the PowerPoint
Yeah.
link.
Yeah, I'm working on it right now. The platform is not helping me. So give me a
Okay.
couple minutes and I'll be right there. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I think I'm in the wrong room.
Which one do you need to go to, you think?
Two.
Thought I had you in there.
You said you had to bump me into room one and then two, I think you said.
Yeah. Okay. So now I just bumped you to room 1. Now give me a second.
Okay.
Now I'm going to bump you to room 2,
Okay.
and there you go. You
Okay.
should be able to go back. And then let's see who else is here. Okay. It will not let me load it up.
talk to Chris.
Chris.
Hi,
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I guess you know that we can't find the assignment.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, perfect.
There it is.
I heard you say there it is, Chris. You found it?
Hold on. Give me just a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
Okay. You should be able to go back out there. I'm going to delete the old one. There you go. You should be able to get to it. Can you tell me if you can see it?
Yep.
From the chat or the apps?
I'm
He-
dropping it in the chat now.
Yeah, it's in the community, back where you was in the community. It's
Okay, it's got it now. He
You got
switched
it
it
now?
out. Yep, I got it.
I
Okay,
also dropped
perfect.
it in the chat.
Okay, thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
That's okay. Thanks.
Now I need to go broadcast to the breakout rooms. Love it. Come on. Hey, Jerry, do you need to go to a room? Okay. Oh, there she is. Let's put her in roommate. There you go. Okay. Hey, Martin, what room are you in? Hello. So while they're all coming back, I'm going to continue to say that I am offended by Dr. Delilah's group. Talking about geriatric.
Sorry.
Come on. Come on.
Idella, blame it on.
And then to tell me,
My passion.
yeah, and then to say, yes, please leave the room. I mean, come on. How rude is that?
I'm sorry.
I'm teasing, of course.
I
so
know.
Nobody has to explain. We'll just keep it our joke.
Yeah, that's funny. But you did leave, though.
Well, yeah, after you told me to. You told me to, and then everybody else started laughing. And I'm like, I'm out of here. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for coming back. I apologize for the snafu. What I've done is I have taken a screenshot of the breakout rooms, who's in what breakout room. So when we come back on Thursday, what we're going to do is we'll start off with that. I'll publish it and I'll make the breakout rooms so that you can go to the breakout room that you need to be in. Okay, you can choose where you want to go. And then we'll spend I'll probably give you another hour, and then I've got some folks that are going to be coming in to help me, and I'm going to ask them to facilitate the readout from the activity. And we'll spend about an hour doing that.
Chris,
Yes, ma'am.
can you kind of explain the activity? I mean, we read and we discussed, but was there something else that we were supposed to be doing?
Did you get the Word document?
No, we had a PDF. There was no Word document.
Okay, so there was a I had uploaded the wrong document, and then
Okay, we never went back.
okay. So yeah, so if you want to go ahead and go into course materials, and then at CAM on the site, the InnoPower site, and it should be there. And basically what I'm asking you to do is come up with an idea and vet that idea about something you can do for social good.
Okay.
So, and yeah, so that's pretty much it for tonight. Think about your activity. I'm sure you will. It's always interesting to me when people step away and then come back to it. Things change, they've thought about it. So I'm going to be interested to find out what it is and how it's working. So, and how it's working with you.
Excuse
And
me.
then then we're gonna have, just to give you an idea on what's coming up next. Then we're gonna go through and have a session on next Tuesday where we go over some questions for the where we go over some questions for the certification test that you'll take at the end of the course. And I want to give you plenty of time to do that. I've got some great aids that'll help you get ready for that. So we'll do that on Tuesday, and then we'll start jumping into facilitation. And so also on Tuesday, what I'm planning on is I will have a list of topics, and I'm going to have a fun activity, and each of you will get to somehow or other wind up with a topic, and then you'll get the opportunity to prepare for it and then deliver it for the class, right? As we start moving into facilitation and teaching and how you go about doing that. Are there any questions?
I have a quick question. Will you send out a list of names of those of us who opt out of the facilitation part because we're either professors or teachers?
Yes, I will. I'm going to ask you to stick around for a little bit. from an optional standpoint to be able to help the rest of us that are not educators. But yeah, I'll get you a list. You'll know who those are.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Dr. Delilah. And by the way, you need to keep control of that group of yours.
I blame Adele. No, don't me. Adela laughs.
All right. Any other questions, thoughts?
Hey, Chris, one question on the document. Is it supposed to be the Word document supposed to begin at step 3?
No, step 1.
Starts at step 1.
I'm looking at. Okay, I'm gonna have to drop it into something else because the document I come up in WordPad and start at step 3.
Go to there's
Yeah, if you open it in something other than Word, then that's been a problem.
Yeah. I uploaded a PDF copy to the same, so there's both copies there now.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I experienced that with one of the other groups.
All right.
I think it was room 6. Okay. With that, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.
Night, everybody.
Chris.
Good night, everybody.
Chris,
Yes, ma'am.
can you send me your email, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you. We converted from Microsoft to Google, and my my email's not quite working right now. So the old one,
Okay.
I put my new. I put my old one, the one that I use personally, is in the chat, so you can use that one.
Felicia, I've sent you that document in your email, so check your email.
Okay, I will.
Where is it at?
Hey, Chris.
Chef Felicia, I just sent it to you in your email from me. info@Bledsoe Publishing.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I was talking about the email that there you go. Look. Okay.
Hey, Chris, quick question. What do you need from like I don't know, prove you're an educator standpoint or whatever? What do you need from us for that?
You need to tell me you're an educator.
Okay.
I'm not. I mean, what kind of
Well,
you know?
Right. So I mean, I'm a licensed teacher, but I'm not in the classroom anymore. But I train. I'm a facilitator, right? That's my job. But I don't work for an education department. I work for Indiana Youth Institute, and I train on the side as a consultant. So that's what I mean. Like, some people define that as educator, and some, because I'm not in the classroom, wouldn't consider me an educator. So
Have you taught? I mean, what I'm trying to avoid is the person who is, not trained and hasn't, or trains, just became a trainer and isn't formally trained, right? Because no offense against anybody like that, because I'm like that. But I went through a facilitation. I'm a certified facilitator through IC Agile. And, that's really what I've figured out is probably the best way to teach people how to train in the way we want to, which is more about facilitation and less about pontification.
yes. No, I've been training for 15 years. So I
Yeah.
missed last class because I was doing a 2-day leadership training that we developed. So, but I'm happy
Nice.
to do whatever. But I just didn't know how you defined educator or what you needed to see or whatever. So,
Yeah. I'm not real big on formality. So if you tell me you're an educator, I'm going to go with it.
all right. And I may stick around for some of it when I can make it anyway, but some of it conflicts with our monthly session. So, okay.
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks. Mhm.
Hi, Chris. This is Jackie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling great. Cancer free. No stopping me. So
Woo.
how about
Is that
that?
new? Is that new?
Yes,
Well,
that's new.
Well, congratulations. You should be doing cartwheels.
You can't see me, but believe me, I'm doing them.
I bet.
The heavy weighted ones. And so I've been working on getting my assignments caught up and watching videos. So do I send that info to I never get the name right. Belongi?
Belonley?
Belongley. Yes.
Belonley.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yep. And she's here, I think. Is she still here?
Yeah, I saw her in my group, but we were so involved in what we were trying to find out and not getting the answers. I didn't get a chance to share with her, but I can put a name with a face now. So thanks.
Well, I just want to say again, congratulations. I mean, you know, I had a pretty big scare in 2020, and you know, mine was boom, boom, boom. I didn't even know what was happening. I can't imagine what you've been through, and I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm still here. They didn't know what they were really dealing with. The doctor, when I first got something on a screen, had never seen it before. So they referred me to the University of Chicago, has a cancer institute, and that's where they found it. It's a rare cancer called GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumors, that had invaded my body, stomach, esophagus area. And so chemotherapy was intense. Had to have them surgically removed, many of the tumors. But I bounced back, you know, because I'm a believer. And so the surgeons, the best ones in the nation, were in Atlanta at Emory, and who also had a cancer institute there. So between the University of Chicago and Emory Hospital, I was able to get the care that I needed. And this last round of care came out of California with another specialist. And I'm just so happy. It's been a long journey, which is part of my assignment in AI, is putting that together for encouragement for others, members of my family who are still going through some, I hate to say, common forms of cancer like prostate and breast and cervical, but only on my mom's side has there ever been any GIST. No one knew what it was back in their day, so they died from it. But because technology has improved so much, I'm still alive and I can talk about it. And I feel great. I'm doing those cartwheels, believe me. But yeah, I'm feeling good, and things are getting back to normal. So is my life. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this innovative technology, because part of it was used in my healing process. And I'm grateful for that. So I just needed to know where to send stuff and get back on track. I'm still in California right now. In March, I'll be going back to Indiana for a minute, but I think we'll be done by then. But still, the people that I assist are in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Georgia. So I'm hoping to develop a model through AI that can be everywhere present when I can't be. I can put it in the hands of other people who are also interested. So I have some community leaders in those states. I've been talking about this program, and they've been gathering people in their respective communities to become a part of it. And so that's why I need to become a master trainer, because they trust me in those communities, and I can go around and get this done. So I'm so excited about what all this is going to mean for our youth and for some of our low-income communities in the cities that I'm trying to serve. So thank you. I will
That's
be
exciting.
catching up soon. It is exciting. Oh my God.
It is exciting, you know, and I just put in the chat my story. If you click on it, it'll take you to my blog post where I talk about my journey. And it
Okay.
is when you come out of and I'm like you, I mean, that's why I'm here, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm so thankful that I've got this. I'm here to have this opportunity and to work with Emil to go change the world, right? I mean, that
Yeah.
if you sat in on one-on-ones, you'd hear us talking about all kinds of stuff we want to go do, to the point we got more ideas than we got time. But it's a motivating, a great motivator for us to move forward and help others, right? So
Yeah, it's great. That's what my son was telling me earlier. He was like, "Oh God, Mom, yeah, it takes death to help you motivate people to live and
yeah,
live more abundant." So near
yeah,
death is what he said. So yeah, um, I just
yeah.
feel so blessed and chosen for this purpose, and so I'm excited. I get tongue tied and teary-eyed and everything like that, but it is just so wonderful, so wonderful. So I'm sure my cheering section in heaven is clapping and everything, because technologies they didn't have, I got a chance to benefit from and live.
Mhm.
So how cool is that?
Yeah,
How cool
it
is
is
that?
cool. That's
How
great.
cool is that? Okay, I'm not going to go because I'll be on that soapbox pretty soon, but I'm going to get off right now. Class is over, but I'm looking forward to Thursday's class and chatting with my group on coming up with solutions to what we tried to deal with
Yeah.
in our group. So God bless. Take care. See you Thursday,
Thank
God
you.
willing. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the call. I left you a comment, Donna, and we will see everybody on Wednesday or on Thursday. Talk to you then.